Hey folks, it's Keith, Victor Echo 3, Sierra Victor Quebec, here today with another video looking at some of the issues people have learning Morse code. Now, I just completed a video which focused on basically the top 10. There was another one in there which I left out, and I'm going to do it in this particular video. And it was one that came up a few times, and certainly I can say with myself on my journey coming back to relearn Morse code, it was an issue. And this is the issue of learning Morse code on a computer or an app on your phone, whichever. This is the way most modern Morse code is now being taught in various classes around the world, various organizations, and so on. There's all sorts of websites out there that you can go to if you're doing it on your own. But keep in mind, there's an issue here. That computer will send perfect code, 100% perfect code. The spacing will be perfect. The characters will be perfect. There's no background noise. There's no interference. The signal is not fading in and out. All of those things happen in the real world. So something that you should be thinking about as you go forward in your Morse code journey. There is a transition from learning on a computer or learning on an app to listening to real live Morse code. Now, years ago, at least years ago when I was taught, so I'm talking now the 1980s, early 1990s, most of this was taught in a classroom, right? You sat at a desk and maybe 25, 30 other people with you in that classroom. An instructor was at the front of the room, sometimes two or three instructors, each with their own, oscillator and so on. And they would send code to you. You would learn the letters to a large extent by listening to the instructors and what they sent. So I did get used to listening to different fists and so on. And part of every lesson would be for us, the students, to start sending code to each other. We would basically section off in groups of two, sometimes three, and we would have to send whatever that lesson was to each other. So we got pretty much used to listening to lots of mistakes. We had a lot of fun, and we didn't get embarrassed when we made mistakes as we were all in it together. We also got used to listening to different folks. How did they send? How did they do their spacing and so on? So down the road, that would help us out a little bit anyways, as we struggled with trying to learn what in those days would have been 5 or 7 words per minute or 10 or 12 words per minute to pass various exams and so on. We don't have that luxury anymore. As a result, today, it can be a bit of a shock when you turn on your radio and you try and copy. And I know from some of the comments students made, they get very frustrated. They're doing code on a computer, right? And they're getting, good marks. It's nice, clear, concise code, perfect code. And everyone does it. We sort of wonder, well, what percent are we getting right? 70%, 80%, 90% accurate, and so on. And they get used to doing this. Then they transition to the real world. And all of a sudden, what they're listening to, well, copy is fading in and out. Somebody's tuning up on top of that operator. And they find they're missing quite a bit of the conversations, right? They're not copying everything. But in reality, that's what they need to learn, not just to sit in front of a computer. They have to listen to real code. They have to begin to understand you're not going to copy everything 100% perfect. You might be lucky some days if you can even copy 50% of what that person is sending, right? Band conditions, like I say, there's so much interference and so on. Learn to do that. And one of the biggest things you're going to learn to miss quickly. You're going to learn that you can't focus and hum and haw over what letter was just sent. There's no time to do that. You have to get back into the game and copy what the operator is sending. So in many ways, that transition from the world of perfect code on a computer or an app to real world, it's a shock, but it's really good training because it's teaching you to miss quickly and not focus on letters that you missed, but to keep up with the conversation as it goes along. Doesn't hurt you to do that at all. And actually, it's one of the best things you're going to learn down the road. In the real world, on the radio, you're going to hear people sending at different speeds. You're going to hear different spacing. In some cases, maybe no spacing at all, because we do get that as well. You'll hear that as well, and you understand why some of the veterans complain. But there's lots of things that are different to what you're going to get in a classroom or on a computer. And as I said, the background noise, just incredible some days. So how do you compensate for this? How do you get around that? Well, number one, turn on your radio and listen to real code. Listen for the letters that you've been taught. It doesn't matter if it's your first lesson, second lesson, third lesson. Turn on the radio. Find someone who's at a speed that is reasonably slow. Try and pick out the letters you know. There's going to be lots of letters you don't know, and that's fine. Miss them quickly. Wait for the next letter. Right? Don't get hung up. Remember, and that was one of the issues with memorizing, your brain wanting to go back and analyze the letter that was sent. Learn to miss quickly. Listen to real code. If you were to do whatever practice lesson that they're teaching you that week, you do it on the computer, that's fine. You can get whatever scores you want in the various exercises you do. Now turn on your radio. Spend at least 10, 15 minutes just listening to real code. Down the road, it's going to be a huge benefit when you do this. So don't get hung up on just doing, 90% plus whatever on a computer. Get on the air. Aim for 50%. Maybe less, maybe more on some days. Get used to it. Get your ear away from listening for perfect code, away from listening to perfect spacing. And not only that, but on the air, you'll find different speeds. Some may be going a little faster, some going slower. Some may do that in the same exchange that they're doing. Not everyone will start an exchange at, say, 12 words per minute and stay at exactly 12 words per minute all the way through. They may go a little faster in places, a little slower in places. That's real world. That's what you have to get used to, and that's what you have to aim for down the road, because where are you going? You're going on the air. You're going to get on the air, right? That's the objective. So at least before you get on the air, have an understanding of what you're going to face. There are different ways of dealing with this. One, obviously, is listening on air, trying to copy what you can, whatever letters you can. That's one. You can find yourself a code buddy. I think this is always a good one, where the two of you can send back and forth, to each other. Get used to listening to someone else send. Get used to making mistakes and not getting upset when you make one. These are all issues that are excellent for you. And these are things that you're going to need when you get ready to get on the air, and certainly once you're on the air. So Code Buddy is an excellent way to do it. Listening to real life code is another way to do it as well. Also, if the organization that you're with, or could even be a local club, if they are offering you the opportunity to do some sending practice, right, to learn to do the proper spacing and so on, make sure you attend those classes, right? Everything works together. It all works towards one aim, which is to get you on the air. And yeah, it's going to be stressful. We all know that. But the aim here is to get you on the air, to try and make you a good CW operator, and something that you will enjoy, not just for a few weeks, few months, but for years to come. An opportunity for you to do events, maybe do a QSO party, maybe do, field day, or a contest, or get out and do POTA or SOTA. A whole new world opens up for you when you learn Morse code and when you're on the air enjoying yourself. That's the aim of every instructor, every organization that's teaching Morse code, really of any website for those that are doing it on your own. The aim is to get you on the air. And hopefully, I'll meet you on the air. It's Keith, Victor Echo 3, Sierra Victor, Quebec, also known as the Shaky Key, for, as I said, my original Morse code abilities. If you like this video, please share, subscribe, send it around, make a comment down below. It's all good. Keith, Victor Echo 3, Sierra Victor, Quebec, wishing you a great day. 73.